and welcome back to another video in my Standardbred retraining series. Today I am here with Chipper and we're going to be doing our first real trail ride on the property. Chip's left the ring a few times. He started out with me doing a lot of ponying through the backfields with Cricket, and I did ride him in like the big grassy portion of my ring the other day as well, so he has like ridden out of the ring. You know, Chip's a baby and sometimes he acts like a baby, but he's not really like a spooky horse. He's just more of a inexperienced horse. But I'm picking today for my first trail ride because even though it's a little bit chilly and maybe a little bit windy, Chip doesn't really like the gnats, and so I'm hoping the cold weather will keep the bugs away. But yeah, there's really not much to it. I think I'm just gonna like groom him, tack him up, get on, and then I usually just kind of ride out and see what happens, right? Like I'm not gonna go deep into the woods if he doesn't feel calm about it, but I'll kind of see how he's feeling and try to maybe push him outside of his comfort zone a little bit, but I never want to spook him. And so that's kind of the approach I take during every ride, and so that's what I'm gonna do today on the trail. So let's get started. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So I'm starting out in what used to serve as my riding area. It's like a nice flat grassy patch, and I'm starting here just because Chip doesn't feel nervous. Actually, he just feels like he's got a little bit of gas in the tank, and so before I push him outside of his comfort zone, I want to start and make sure that he is listening to me. I want to make sure that I have brakes, and I want to also review kind of bending and turning, because once you start going into the woods a little bit, it matters a lot more that Chip doesn't go a little off course, because I don't really want to hit a branch. So already I feel him kind of taking a breath, and so we'll kind of do this in stages. First we're going to start here in what I consider a very safe easy spot to work through, and when I feel Chip really start to relax and take a breath, we'll do a lap around the perimeter of the field section. And this is assuming that this part goes well, and then assuming that goes well, we will expand again and we will actually go through the woods. Now, because Chip is a very green little baby, and the woods aren't really manicured footing at all, I did just go through with my tractor and tried to kind of clear up some of the leaves, and I brought my chainsaw on, so I cleaned up some of the branches that have been down, because I haven't really been using the woods to its full potential recently, and so I want to make sure that it's not so unkept before I take a very green baby horse through it, because I don't really want to risk him stepping in a hole and tripping and losing his confidence at all. So already I'm starting to feel him settle down a little bit, and so I'm going to take my first step to expand beyond the green grass area and just see if he can walk along this tree line here. Good boy. So I should have done this from the start. He seems to really be settling, like something about thinking about the fact that the ground's not as manicured here seems to be really helping him to settle. Like, wow. Chip, should we have just started straight from the get-go? Gone straight out, huh? Do you want to be a trail horse? Oh, his friends are talking to him. say the most terrifying part of my trail loop is anytime we get close to my backyard, there's chickens, there's a pool, sometimes there's a rogue toddler, and so it can be a little bit scary to take in. And Chip's been back here before. He's usually been with Cricket leading him when we're doing kind of ponying, so it's not new to him. And in a classic like standardbred way, he's just like, I really don't care about any of this stuff. Good boy. And what I like is that he seems very careful about where he's stepping, especially when we get somewhere where the ground isn't as clearly visible. He's really looking where he's going, and he's being careful with his feet, which isn't always super common with standardbreds fresh off the track. A lot of times with the standardbred that's just come off the track, they're used to only working over manicured footing. So coming out of the ring and working over terrain like this, like even though it's not super hilly, there are a lot of divots and holes in my pastures. And so it's just a different experience for them to have to really think about where they're putting their feet and where they're going. But Chip's doing great. Good job, buddy. Honestly, I feel like he's really settling in. And when he was training to race, I know they jogged him out on the trails, and she said he was good there. So maybe this isn't super surprising. And standardbreds, I would say, if someone were to ask me, like, what are, like, every standardbred's an individual and they all have their own talents, but if someone was going to ask me what I thought standardbreds as a breed are the best at, I think they make really nice trail horses. And so it's never terribly surprising when you get one who is a good trail horse. But you just never know, because they're all individuals and not all of them like the same things. So we're just going to follow the loop that I cleared with my tractor. Chippy, here's your first big challenge. It's a log. Good. Good boy. Just look at it. Good. You can walk over it. Good boy, Chippy. And I am ready for him to rocket launch me. Good boy! Yes, good boy, Chippy. I was ready for him to rocket launch me, but he didn't. He just kind of sat and thought about it. And I would say normally I would like to do that exact thing again. Good boy! And see if he can do it a little quieter this time. Good boy! Yay, Chippy! And we'll do it one more time because we're going to finish the trail loop. Chip, we got to go back where we were going. Okay, well, he wants to jump it, but that was probably my fault because I clucked when he was clearly getting ready to go. Good boy, Chippy. Gosh, I remember I stopped clearing here because I was like, well, the trail exit's very clear. And now that I'm on a horse, I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? Where am I supposed to go next? I think it's here. And then here. Good boy. What a brave boy. And then, haha, I found it. All right, here we go. Now we're talking. A good bag. Good boy. Now, if I had a clone of myself or a friend who was available to ride at the same time as me, I would say it's much easier on your horse to introduce them to the trails when you have a good buddy horse who can give them a lead and take them through the trails for the first time and show them that everything is fine and dandy. But I'm often riding by myself, and so this was kind of the best we could do. But I think Chip really handled that like a pro. And you know, I've said before that Chip has ponied back here, but he's never been into the woods. That was our first time going into the woods, and his first time seeing like probably even like a rail on the ground. I don't think I've even taken him over, but he's doing such a great job, and he's feeling incredibly brave. And so I have no complaints.
So that was it for Chip's first trail ride. I thought he did great. He was so brave and he did a really good job listening and steering, especially when we were in the woods. And so I'm really happy with him. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more Chippy adventures. Thanks for watching.